Good evening, folks. Welcome to Godlike Games. It's me. It's Millie. Look at our skeleton crew this week. The beauty of Star Trek Adventures is you don't always need all the players to play the game. And tonight we're going to play a mission that includes Pete, our chief engineer. Tosh, how you doing, Pete?
I'm good. Yes, I'm ready for an argument with the other senior officers.
Because it's like a thing that Tellarites enjoy,
It's fun.
isn't it?
It's a compliment if I argue with you. It means you're worthy of a bit of debate and discussion. If I just insult you, it means I'm running out of interesting things to say.
Nice, yeah. Senior officers being Resh. Ben, how's our joint trill this week?
She's doing good. She's been going for plenty of runs.
Yeah.
Plenty of exercise. Likes the new ship, nice and shiny.
It is.
No fluff on the floor in the corridors.
Yeah. But somewhere in these corridors is a vodka still, isn't there, Simon?
There is, isn't there?
There is definitely a vodka still, but I'm not playing with my vodka still today. Today I'm with my medical team in EVA suits on the holodeck.
It's funny you say medical team, because I was looking up the crewing of an Intrepid class.
Yeah.
The medical team is two.
Okay.
A doctor and a nurse.
All right. But
that's the medical team. I killed the doctor last week.
So I'm the nurse. I'm Pendek the
You're
nurse.
the medical
team.
You are the whole of the medical team.
Right,
there is an EMH.
Yeah, we have not yet.
You
have to change your what?
That was what I was going to be doing, was EVA with all my crew, all my people, but I can't do that because I am my people.
You are your people. We will at some point, no doubt, activate our friend, the emergency medical hologram, and I will get to do an excellent what's his name, Robert Picardo impression. It's not excellent. I'm just telling you that right now. But please state the nature of the medical emergency.
He's actually Robert Picardo in makeup as a Tellarite now, because I've changed the holo projectors. What stupid thing have you done to yourself?
Please state the nature of the medical incompetence.
Okay, well, in that case, if I'm not doing my EVA, I've currently got a blindfold on, and I'm doing reps so that I can basically get from medical bay to like the escape pods with blindfolded to see how fast I can get there.
Right. Okay.
Because that's important, when all the lights go out, you've got to be able to get around the ship.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on some computer saying, turn right to the next,
Yeah, please follow the LCAR's directions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Firelog 22 is like, can you imagine how great a Tellarite CMO would be? Just like so insulting. So insulting. Like we think the EMH has got bad bedside manner. That would just be like...
That'd be great.
I'm not treating you, get out. And we will be joined in a little while by our science officer, Grellick. I understand I've been prepped with what they are doing whilst we are frivolously expending emotional energy. So there's a little bit of checking the sensor logs because of the blooms last week, and looking into all the sensor data we got from our adventures from the week before. But this week, our episode is called Signals, and we've got an intro and an XO log to play. So we'll be back right after this.
First Officer's Log, Stardate 48437.4. The Ashton has arrived at Array 3-5 and we have completed basic repairs and maintenance. The Mapal needed further support, and fearing a diplomatic incident, Lieutenant Commander Ajax is leading a small crew of our engineers to assist repairs. We would return to Naharenda Station, but Dr. Jakul, project manager of the outpost, informed us that their runabout, called the Susquehanna, has gone missing in the Carina Nebula, deep within the Shakelton Expanse. It has been 8 weeks since any contact has been had with the Susquehanna. The Susquehanna was investigating an unusual alien signal that originated from the nebula when all contact was lost. We've been carefully searching the nebula for several hours, but finding the missing runabout has turned out to be excruciatingly difficult. Sensors are extremely limited due to the effects of the nebula, making the odds of finding the runabout slim. We have, however, located the source of the alien signal, a small dusty planet called Seku 6. We've set course for the Seku system in the hopes of finding the missing runabout. Starfleet has also advised that Romulan ships have been sighted in the region, so we should exercise caution since they likely detected the alien signal as well.
So we start on the bridge of the USS Felicity Aston. Our XO maybe comes out of the captain's ready room. He's borrowing that while we left Captain Whitmore on Narendra Station. And we're not far from this place, Seku 6, which is where we've traced an alien signal to that we think is, well, it's what the scientists on the Susquehanna were investigating. And they've been missing for 8 weeks. So we're coming to find them. Our choice here is, as we're in orbit of the Seku, are we just going to beam down? Are we going to all jump in a runabout and fly down? What's the plan? What do we want to know whilst we're in orbit? What do we want to do anything?
We're in a nebula, aren't we? And we're having problems with our sensors. So transporters might be not the best choice.
I think a runabout.
Do we have access to a runabout, or are we
No, you have
stuck with shuttles? Because the runabout's much bigger and more comfortable.
Let me see. That's the wrong thing.
Can anybody other than me fly a runabout?
I mean, we've got Ensign Torin Corin. Let's not forget them. And if we bring them back in an episode, they get advanced, or they get more stuff. Like, you can develop that character like they developed Chief, and eventually they'll go on to be on another spin-off show and have a family. Or we could just invent a new character.
But does she have to suffer all the diseases first? Surely.
Maybe.
Yeah. If push comes to shove, I can kind of fly a shuttle.
What skill do you need to fly a shuttle?
Con.
Yeah,
I've got Con 3. I can fly a shuttle.
You can fly the shuttle.
I've been flying ships for years around when we were
Con 3,
surveyors.
And I have small craft as one of my focuses.
Well,
there you
Pendek, you might be an optimal crewman to bring aboard. In fact, you're the only medical person, and we're going looking for broken people.
Right. Finally, you have an applicable skill for the current mission.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, we could use our crewman. We could use Pendek. I mean, for the sake of the game, we should probably bring Pendek along, so Simon can sit on the ship.
Yes.
I definitely think I should be here, because if someone needs medical attention, then I'm the only one who can use the tricorder.
I mean, you're the one trained to read it properly. Others could look at it.
You should come with us in case someone needs medical attention.
We clearly need Pendek in case of medical emergencies. There's always the EMH on the ship in case anybody...
Mm-hmm.
The EMT.
The emergency medical Tellarite.
Yes.
Quite.
Yeah.
Should anybody bump their knee or...
I'm happy if you want to bring someone to pilot the ship. Because obviously, if there is someone who needs medical attention,
I'll pilot the ship. Come on.
I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be quite crowded with the 4 of you anyway. Because remember,
So let's
even
go
though
with 3
Adin isn't
then.
here yet, we're still taking our science
Grelik's
officer.
coming with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
there's enough for 4. You got 4. I mean, we've all seen Deep Space Nine lots.
Yeah.
You know, you can get 4 people in the front of that, and everyone can be seen on camera. So
So we're going to take the shuttlecraft. We don't fancy beaming through the interference in the nebula.
Not a great plan.
Not a great plan. Not the best plan. Okay. So
We'll be more responsive if we have a shuttlecraft. If we need point-to-point transportation, the shuttlecraft's equipped to do that as well.
So yeah, the small rocky planet, marginally class M, orbiting an F-type star. The Seku system is located in a clearing deep within the Carina Nebula, and it's been logged and catalogued by the unmanned probes. Array 35 was sending out these probes, remember? There's no oceans, there's sparse, what seems to be non-sentient life, a bit of water on the surface, mostly around the equatorial range. And the sensor readings that are just coming back show an incredible wealth of mineral deposits in the planet, and perhaps even dilithium crystals, though. Yeah.
We check the.
I have a
mineralogy
survey.
scan.
I have a survey focus because I used to fly a survey ship.
Well, can you
So
check the
I'm
mineralogy
very
scan and see if
excited.
there's a rocky outcropping that looks like this one?
You don't need to. I'm already pressing the buttons.
You know which rocky outcropping I mean.
Oh, I do. That one that's the one that's
Yeah,
sloped a
that's
bit
the
like
one.
that. Yeah, just so happen to land nearby.
On our way down, I shall reach into my medical bag and pull out a colouring book and a small tin of crayons. I will look at Resh and offer him a second colouring book in case he wants to join in, because I'm thoughtful.
A colouring pad with like a funky pen?
No,
or is it literally a colouring book with crayons?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
We've gone retro tech here. We're taking a colouring book.
You're an unusual character, Pendek, but I don't think it's entirely appropriate while we're on mission for me to be doing that. You're fine. Continue.
I'll lean over and say, Grelic, if I'm hurt, you can provide me medical assistance. And then I'll turn back to the scans.
Grelic no doubt lifts an eyebrow and says, "It seems illogical to ask a Vulcan to oversee Tellarite medical aid when we have a perfectly well-trained medical crewman on board. However, if this is your wish, I will comply."
I find it strange for a Vulcan of such logic to throw around the word perfectly so randomly.
Just bickering.
Yeah, bickering all the way down, and I'm scanning. I'm like got a big grin on my face, and I'm like tapping away, and Grelic and I are just arguing.
All right.
Is it science or engineering?
So we tell me what we're trying to do, and then we'll work out what our.
I'm trying to scan the surface for any signs of the shuttle, any warp field signatures, any neutron, all that kind of stuff.
All the
any
technobabble.
trail down, or like a physical, metal box on the surface. Because it's not populated with a sentient life form, is it? So there's not much here, so it should stick out, hopefully.
Sure, yeah. Let's see. So we could do a reason science task. It would be a difficulty 2. I don't think the runabout's going to be able to do much for you there.
That's fine. They're not super duper, are they? Right. I have got survey as a focus.
Yeah, we can use that. That's definitely what we're doing here.
And we don't have any stuff. Complication range, no. So I've got 2 dice and I need two successes.
If you want, you could buy a 3rd dice by spending some threat, giving me an extra bit of threat. I don't know whether you have I
think it's a bit early in the episode for that.
Any bold or anything like that would allow you to buy extra,
I don't have
stuff.
bold.
Nope.
I do.
Other than the natural abundance of it with which he and I are both blessed.
Whenever you attempt a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, you may reroll and no. Ship, whenever you attempt a task to determine the source, no.
Oh, there we go. We've got 2 successes.
Arguing with Grelic is just, it's putting me
Just
in my zone. So
yeah.
I'm just like tapping the right buttons and the annular confinement beam and all that jazz, the lateral sensor arrays.
Okay. So, so there's a couple of things we noticed then. We're looking for a location. We pick up a faint, where is it? Come here. Boo. Right. Okay, we pick up a faint comm badge signal. It's weak, almost like it's interfering. The geology is interfering with it, and these mineral deposits and stuff is getting in the way, deflecting it around a bit. But we locate this signal quite far out. And it shouldn't take you too long to get there because obviously we're in spaceships. The other thing we notice, and it's maybe a slightly odd thing, because at first you notice we're scanning for like mineral deposits and that kind of stuff. That's the momentum from the chat, by the way. That's what I was just updating them. First we notice like it starts reading off a bunch of mineral deposits, and there's a moment maybe where Tosh is like, why are there mineral compositions in the air? What is that? What? I don't understand why these aren't on the ground. Was it orbital things? And then suddenly you realize it's a Romulan shuttlecraft. The composition is a Romulan ship. So where is it?
In the air.
Yeah. So you quickly
moving or stationary?
Moving. This you quickly realize you point out to Grelek.
Resh. Resh. No, I'm going to shout to the tactical officer.
Who's piloting? Yeah. Who's a con?
I think I'm flying it, aren't I?
Yeah. Tosh was flying,
but Resh is next to me.
And I'm next door. I was just about to say I'm going to do some security scans, but you've picked it up on the mineralogy.
Yeah.
And these things fly themselves. It's not like you have to do a lot of work, is it?
So just as Tosh realizes that this is a you rash Romulans kind of thing.
It's a high uranium alloy. Whoa, it's a ship. It's a Romulan vessel.
The shuttle kind of veers to avoid disruptor fire from the Romulan shuttle, and then Ops reads a sudden and massive power surge from the planet in the region where we've been tracking the signal. There is a bright, like, incandescent flash of blue and white light, and suddenly like alarms and everything goes off in the cockpit. Impulse engines are shutting down, warning planet crashing within the next 30 seconds. And as we like lean forward maybe to look out the window, we can see that the Romulan is doing the same thing. So the Romulan craft is like listing. You can see smoke plumes coming out of their engines, and they're sort of spinning towards the ground. I need the person who is at con to make a daring and con task, or a control and con task. The difficulty 4.
I will do a control and con task.
Uh-huh.
That gives me 15. And I'm going to use one of those points of momentum if that's all right with people.
You crack on, yeah.
I think if we're brutal, if we're not brutal, if we're honest, chat has given us 2 momentum, so you could definitely use at least
3.
You'd need 3 for the
3,
other one,
don't you? Yeah.
Can I use Spirit of Discovery and use a point of determination to add 3 points to the momentum pool?
You can use your talent, yes.
Because we're heading somewhere. Like
is your colouring book like a Romulan, like a energy anomaly paint by numbers that you like filled in the right sheet?
So what is it that Pendex does to give everybody like hope, like build this momentum in everybody when the?
I mean, it could just be that he's totally chill. He's just sat there with the colouring book, looking around, going, "These guys will handle it."
Yeah, I think. Well, the thing is, I think because I'm because of my focuses, I'm probably quite chill because I have combat awareness, small craft, EVA, all that kind of stuff. I'm probably quite chill. I think that the chillness with me putting my coloring book away, putting my hand on Resh's shoulder and saying, "This is all going to work out just fine." In that
They're
kind of
playing
like
my song, and I'm going to hit
kind
the
of
button
like-
that does the seat restraints.
that kind of medical, you know.
All right, yeah. So we've got the momentum. If you want an extra couple of
Okay,
dice.
so I will spend 3 momentum to get 2 extra dice. 4 in my pool. Let's have a look. I've got warp field dynamics. That's the only thing that would come close to a relevant focus. So I doubt that really counts.
No.
Dear.
This is definitely like impulse.
My con's only
stuff.
3 anyway, so it's not huge.
Yeah, that's an EMP blast knocking out our systems.
Here we go. I've got to get 4 on 4 dice.
Oh!
Oh, but I spend that momentum to up the complication. Oh, I'm so.
Yeah. I got 3, nearly.
You got 3. You got nearly.
Hold on, everybody. This isn't going to be pretty.
All right. So this task is one of the succeeded cost tasks. So we will we won't all immediately die. But I need everybody else now to make what you failed by 1. So a fitness or some kind of fitness task. Let's look at the
Some security.
Yeah, I think it'd be either fitness and security or fitness and maybe control. Oh, yeah, no, fitness and security. Let's make it fitness and security. With a difficulty of 2.
Oh dear.
Can I apply my survival focus to it?
To your role, yes. Resh can use their.
Can I use my athletics focus?
Are you going to parkour around the? I like if you use athletics. I think that might up the difficulty for someone else.
What?
Well, I don't need to.
Would be jumping around the cockpit, surely.
I'm not in the cockpit.
Not jumping around the ship.
Everyone's in the cockpit. It's a shuttle.
Yeah, it's a little.
It is a cockpit.
Like running.
Well, there is a back
walls.
chamber in the runabout, but we're all probably up there.
Yeah.
No, maybe he knows how to tumble, so as he falls out of his chair, he does a tuck and roll.
Maybe I know which don't stand next to that big pointy bit.
That's small craft knowledge, not athletics.
Okay.
Put your face in front of the
then.
giant impaling spike.
So I can use small craft, yeah?
Yeah, all right, yeah, you can use a small craft. Your knowledge of
Right,
small
so
crafts
I tick fitness, I tick security.
And then, yes, you're using a focus.
And, okay, so you click perform task.
Yep, perform task. And then it comes up with using focus. You tick that box.
Yeah, tick that box.
And then if you had any more dice, you would.
I don't need more dice.
Oh,
we all got one. We all got one success.
all right. So I need to roll some challenge dice now.
Did we need more than one?
It was a damage.
Needed 2.
Success 2.
Oh dear, here we go. I got to get a control panel in the face. Does one of those sprays of like gas come out and go right?
There's a gas spray. There's some sparks from the console. We all go left and then right and then left again.
Yeah.
But I go right at that point and bash my head.
5 work. Oh, I don't want it to be damage 9. Oh, I don't want it to be damage 9. That would be terrible.
That would be quite bad.
Oh God, I'd be dead instantly.
Oh, I got 16. Okay. How do you reroll your results?
Sorry, computer. My operating system can't handle 2 questions at a time when I'm trying to work out effects. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Everybody takes 3 stress. Let's see. We've got 2 effects here. So So the ship plummets down, hits. Oh no, not 35.
35 is fine. We'll take 35.
35 is more than you're allowed. The rules say you can't have more than that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so yeah, everybody takes 3 stress. The ship, our shuttle, we haven't named it yet. Buffets about, smacks into the side of Seku 6, skids along. It's one of them bumpy rides that, churns up dirt and it looks really cool, but it scuffs all the front of it, and is completely wrecked. If we had an NPC with us, I would kill them, because that would have been a good thing to
Relic's
do.
dead?
No, he's not an NPC, but I might have made Corbin severely injured.
Torrigan.
Torrigan Gorgon. Oh, folks. I'm tired, all right? It's been a week.
I know.
Yeah, our ship has crashed. Eldath, one of the Twitch folks, has just named it the shuttle named Hawkwing. Crashed into the dirt, tumbles. It's a heck of a ride. When you come to a stop, a lot of your like emergency rations, probably loads of bits and pieces. We end up sort of scrabbling together. Maybe 2 tricorders between the 4 of us, like most of an emergency kit.
Or could we call the shuttlecraft the Hammeister?
Cool.
After Jade Hammeister, that 16-year-old girl who skied to the South Pole when blokes told her to make them a sandwich and get in the kitchen.
Yeah, sure. We can name
So
it.
she made them a
I
sandwich.
hate to say it, but aren't they
and then
named
took it
after
to the South
rivers?
Pole.
They are named after.
They are named after. Oh, okay.
Rivers. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just yeah, but anyway, it's destroyed. It's wrecked. We've messed this ship up, and we find ourselves stood slightly injured on the planet of Seku 6.
Can I avoid an injury? What do I have to do to avoid an injury?
Oh, you're not injured, are you? You've just got you've just taken stress.
Oh, okay. You just said we were injured, so I was.
No, you take 3 points of stress.
Right. Okay.
3
Cool,
points
cool.
of stress.
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
If I use determination, do I click the 1, 2, or the 3 button?
You've used
Click the 1 again and it will go away.
So I click the 1.
So you should now have nothing highlighted.
I had all 3 were yellow, and I clicked the 1.
Oh, click all of them and then you'll have none.
Mm-hmm.
Should all go black.
Okay, so you only get one. They're all black. And if I use Spirit of Discovery, do I then bin it?
Oh, it's that interesting talent, isn't
Talents.
it? Hang on. It's that. I need to find the talents in the core book fast. Not going to happen.
No,
is it?
no, it's fine. We'll do it later.
All right, yeah.
If you don't know, that's fine.
I
It's
don't
not
know off
that
the top of my head. But you are
when we land, when we get out of the ship, I'm going to turn to Tosh and say, "Next time I'll drive."
You're all
Judging by your colouring in outside of the lines, I wonder what would have happened if you had been at con.
Well, we'll find out next time when I drive.
After the
I'm going to go grumbling off to check if there's any power units salvageable, and I'm going to have to step away for a minute, unfortunately.
Sure. So the broken terrain and barren landscape of Seku 6 lies before you. It is mostly volcanic rock and ash and sand. You can see bits of vegetation clinging to things in the form of lichen and pale grass. Sharp rocky ledges, deep ravines is going to make traversing this area slow and treacherous. As you look up in one direction, you can see thick plumes of smoke. That is the Romulan vessel that's crashed off in one direction. Despite interference, your tricorders still record the alien signal coming several kilometers to the east, and 2 Starfleet comm badges registering as being nearby. So Grelek points this out. Let's involve them. They point this out, show you which direction the comm signals are from, and the interesting alien signal, while Tosh sort of scrapes through the bits and pieces of the ship. And yeah, I think Resh, you'd probably be very aware of that plume of pillar of smoke is the Romulan vessel.
Right, but Tosh is trying to salvage our ship and get it back up and running.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission is to get to the Starfleet operatives and try and do what we can for them. So, Grelek, stay with Tosh, see what you can do for the ship. If you can get it flying, excellent. Get it up, follow after us. Pendek, you're on me. We're going for a little walk.
Joke.
Okay.
Are we going to go and see if the I assume we're going for the officers, the badges.
Yeah, we're going for the comm badges.
Right, fine.
So I will crack open one of the on-ship lockers.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a phaser rifle on a shuttlecraft? I mean, I've no doubt got a phaser 2. I was just wondering if a phaser 3 is option. I'm happy to go with a phaser 2.
Yeah, I think we've
But
trashed.
there's Romulans in these here.
There are
parts.
Romulans in these hills, and no, I'm happy with a phaser 3.
Okay, so I'll take a phaser 3 survival kit. Pendek's got medical kit, so off we go.
Okay.
I have a phaser 1.
So sorry, yes. Somebody in chat has asked, what is the rank insignia on Pendek? He is an enlisted, and a crewman. He's petty officer.
Or just petty.
Just petty. No, that's Tosh.
Oh yeah.
That's Tosh. That's our
Tosh is
Tellarite.
very petty.
Your people are so petty.
Yeah. But yeah, Pendek is an enlisted. He's the nurse of the USS Felicity Aston, because it only has a medical crew of 2, and we killed the doctor in the first episode. Like all good intrepid ships. So medical and security crew, you head off on this walk to find your Starfleet folks. Yeah. Give me a where is it? I think it is a fitness test. Nope. Ooh, no, I like that one better. Right, okay. I'm gonna spend some threat.
You spent quite a lot.
I did. I spent 2 threat, right? Okay, so as you're heading through, there is this scrubland. There is this horrible, horrible area ahead. And what you spot is what looks like a haze at first. But as you get closer, it looks more like swarms of swooping insects, like like midges, like we have like when you see them around trees and stuff and on Earth. But these guys are like more dense, massive, and they are particularly in the way. Going round could cause you to add massive distance on, take much longer, keep you further away from your crew, or going through is obviously going to risk insects.
Can I attempt to program my comm badge to emit an ultrasound frequency?
Is that there's scrubland, isn't there?
Yeah.
The scrub. So we could just set it on fire
You're gonna set
and
it
then
on
just
fire?
walk around with smoke
We could set it on fire. The smoke will disperse them, but this is indigenous life. And as Starfleet officers, we are not supposed to take negative action against indigenous life on any planet, even if it is potentially an inconvenience to us.
Yeah, you're the Starfleet officer, yeah? I'm enlisted.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I can give you permission to set fire to the ground.
I don't need your permission.
Pendek, you do need permission. You are not setting fire to the ground if there's an
I was
alternative.
going to pull it out of the ground and walk with it.
Let's try the ultrasound first.
Okay.
We'll call your plan Plan B.
All right. I think this is going to be a reason and science task.
Oh, God.
It will be difficulty 3.
There's no way this is going to go well.
So I'm scrabbling in my bag.
Get ready to set fire to stuff.
And I'm gonna get out a couple of Cuban cigars that the equivalent that you could make yourself. You know,
Space Cubans.
Space Cubans.
Space contraband.
Yeah, I'll get a couple of space because that's.
Hey, look at that! 0 successes. Who could have guessed it?
Stress.
All right.
That's going to help our levels of stress, isn't it?
Yeah.
A couple of space Cubans.
Space Cubans.
So, I'll pull out the space Cubans.
Is Pendek just just a contraband black market crewman?
No, I just make things myself because let's face it, I'm the only one in the med bay. I mean, people don't get injured that often.
No,
you have time on your hands.
Okay.
I suppose, you've got the medical replicator. You could tell it to replicate some leaves that have medicinal properties and then use a low intensity phaser beam to dry it out and roll it.
Yeah.
Is that now we know why Pendek is still just a crewman.
He's been promoted 5 times and demoted 6.
Keeps coming back. Starfleet's too nice. They just don't send him away. All right. So Resh stops. She's like, no, we can't destroy indigenous life and indigenous. We can't resort to eco-terrorism on a uncharted planet. We don't know how we'd imbalance. And she spends a good while with these with a comm badge and microfilaments and that kind of stuff. And after, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, she's just like, it just doesn't work for you, Resh.
Plan B.
Plan B. Okay. So what we're going with control or is it insight? I suppose it'd be insight, wouldn't it?
It would be, I think, insight for this.
Yeah, insight. We're going to go science.
Insight science. No, insight science to make fire.
That's cool.
How do we make fire?
How do we make fire? What have we got? Trade farm I can't use today.
Are we all dead yet?
No. But Pendek is setting fire to the planet.
Okay.
To get rid of
I tried to do an engineering. It didn't work. So Pendek setting fire to the planet because that was plan B.
And I'm going to use one of the...
Should I come back and do an engineering test at this point?
I'll use one of the thingy points we've got.
The momentum?
You can use momentum on it.
Yeah. So that gets me an extra dice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd I do?
All right, so we got 2 successes. I should have said it probably only needs 2 successes to make a controlled fire, improvised fire, and not let it get out of hand.
Yeah, but you got to make sure it's not the leaves aren't too green. You got to make sure the leaves are green enough that it's going to smoke.
Yeah.
You got to pick something big enough that it's going to get you the distance you want to go without having to do it twice, because then Resh would get really angry.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there's some trial and error. The indigenous scrub, the indigenous life is not something Pendek has trade farmed before. We've got to make sure what we're burning isn't poisonous when we set fire to it, and it's just going to create that kind of stuff. So there's some stomping around the scrubland to find appropriate things, and then we've got to bundle it all together. And eventually, Pendek makes this giant smudge stick, essentially. Big bundle of and we're gonna just sort of wade through these insects.
Is Resh having a Cuban? A space Cuban?
I don't know. What would the Trill
this
mission
body
say?
is a temple.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I lose any stress because I'm having a space Cuban?
No, stress isn't the same as Star Trek stress. Okay. I'm afraid.
All right.
And it's bad for you.
I'm feeling less stressed.
Smoking is bad for you.
I think you'll find if you check Starfleet Directive 414/17.b, an
I'm
officer
checking it.
should not be smoking while on mission.
Yeah, I'm not an officer. We worked this one out.
We've
haven't we?
established that you're not an officer. I'm beginning to see why.
um,
But at the same
Starfleet.
time, you need to have someone who can do the things that the officers can't do. So,
So what are you setting fire to? Can I pull my phaser out and like shoot
No.
something and start a fire?
No,
so
I'm brush.
we kind of split up, Pete.
Oh, okay, right.
So we
Okay,
left you
sorry.
and Grelek back at the shuttle trying to get it back in the sky,
Okay.
or at very least give us early warning.
Send
if
a
the Romulans are
transponder
moving.
signal or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
While we head off to try and find the comm badges.
All right, so back at the runabout, we get a message from
Smoke signal.
No, it's smoke signal. No, it's not a smoke signal. It is a we get contact. We get the comms back up. And our XO Thenon finally gets in touch, and it's like, away team report. What's happening down there? We saw there was a bright flash, an energy spike. Is everybody okay?
Well, everyone's fine. A little bit roughed up, but that was mainly due to the fact that the runabout was disabled, and we had to make an emergency landing. We're just gathering supplies, and Resh and Pendek have headed out to investigate the source of the comm badges that we've picked up on the planet's surface. I warn you, Captain, that there is Romulan activity in the area. We were fired upon by a Romulan scout vessel, but it too was hit by the power surge from the planet's surface. So I advise not to get too close to the planet and to keep an eye out for Romulan vessels.
Acknowledged, understood. Good luck, away team. And I guess he just kind of leaves you.
He signs off just as I'm about to talk about tachyons.
Yeah, he knows. He's talked to you more. He's like, no, I'm going to sign off now. So yeah, you make this. Well, let's do an insight engineering test, Tosh, and see what we gather from our.
Sure. Check my. Whenever you attempt a task to determine the source of a technical problem with your ship, add 1 bonus die.
Nice. Yeah, this is definitely your ship right now.
And whenever you succeed at a task using control or insight, gain 1 momentum and may only be used for obtain information.
Okay.
That's after the fact.
Okay.
So I've got 3 dice.
3 dice from the go.
And I've got computers, transporters, and replicators, warp field dynamics, investigation as foci.
Yeah, I think definitely investigation will help you there because you're investigating what's happened to you. But yeah, it's difficulty 2 again.
Anyone mind if I take another die just to make sure I figure out what's wrong with the runabout?
You crack on.
Oh! So that would be
just need to jump.
3 momentum
off and on again.
and then a bonus momentum for obtain information. So
yes.
That would put us up to 5, and then you get a free question. So let's see. There was definitely some sort of powerful. Star Trek would call it something cool, but it's essentially acted in like an EMP sort of manner. Massive, planet-wide, and originates from maybe 3 to 5 kilometers beyond where the comm badges are. The weak comm badge signal is 3 to 5 kilometers beyond there. What do you want to? What are you asking for your obtain information? What have we got there?
Can I tell what triggered the power surge, or what might trigger it from the nature of it? Like, was it our shields, or was it just the power source of our ship? What part did it sort of hit the ship first, as it were?
Okay, so it looks like there was a moment, like from the sensor logs, there was a moment when the Romulan disruptors began to power, and they reached, I don't know, 19.9 gigawatts or something.
Right.
And when it passed into the 20th level, like that, that's when the EMP. So there was a threshold for.
So it picked up like a power surge itself, and then realized there's probably something powerful in orbit, so take it out.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, I'll relay that information to the ship.
Okay.
Our ship, to say don't do anything too power surgy, otherwise you might get a pulse from the planet.
At this point, Thenon responds. Tosh, we have received we've actually received a distress signal from the Susquehanna. It's it's a little further into the nebula. If it wasn't a distress signal, we wouldn't leave you, but we will rendezvous within the next 6 hours. But for now, you're on your own.
You do know we're left down here with Pendek, don't you?
Well, we'll be back in 6 hours.
He's going to try and treat my wounds later.
Well, that's understandable. He's our chief medical officer.
I need to check that EMH, see if it's working properly yet.
So Thenon informs you that they found a distress signal. They have to go and investigate it because it is a
understand,
distress
Captain.
Signal.
Good luck.
Good luck down there.
Watch out that nebula. It's tricky on those sensors. Although I've tuned the sensors, the lateral sensor arrays.
Ashton out.
This.
And they're going off to investigate this Susquehanna thing, leaving you alone on the planet.
Pendek.
Yeah, with Pendek.
Okay. Can I comm Resh?
Actually, no. She's destroyed her comm badge.
Can I comm Pendek?
Yes.
Pendek. This is
yes.
Tosh.
Hello, Tosh.
I've managed to identify that an extreme power output activated what seems to be some sort of automated system, and that's what the Romulans firing their disruptors on us activated the energy field, energy disruption.
It's an electromagnetic pulse.
It was
Pendek.
It
you
was
could probably hear me in the background.
It was a scattered polaron beam.
Hang on, Tosh. Tosh, just give me a second. I'm going to give my badge to Resh.
Resh, punk. Okay.
You're the officer. You might need this.
The source of the weapon or defense system, we should say.
Tosh, this is Resh.
Hello. I know you could both hear me. I know how communicators work. Anyway, I am an engineer. I'm chief engineer.
Yeah. Electromagnetic pulse on planet.
3 kilometers beyond
Why?
the communicators. If I knew that, I'd tell you.
Okay, but it's beyond the communicators. We're heading towards the communicators now.
Yes, but the Susquehanna has actually sent a distress call from inside the nebula. So this is not the Susquehanna. This is someone they dropped off on the planet or lost here, or
so we've got Starfleet comm badges, but not the Susquehanna, because how do we know it's never mind. You're relaying information.
I'm gonna get Grelic to check the comm badge signals to make sure that they're appropriate in the Starfleet, and if we can figure it out if they're the right ones for the Susquehanna.
Try and keep an eye on the Romulans as well.
When I find them, I'll tell you.
We want Grelic to make a science check. Is that what we're doing here?
Well, we need to also scan for the. So I was analyzing what had happened to us and where it came from, but it would probably be good if Grelic were to do another scan of the area to see what the comm badges are, if they're Starfleet for a start,
sure,
and if the Romulans are around,
right.
That might be handy. Oh yeah, look, they're outside the window.
Oh yeah, they're there again, Grelic. Gosh, I've seen them. We've seen the plume of smoke over in the distance.
Okay.
Where
it's fine. It's not like we've got a Vulcan with us that could cause problems with the Romulans.
fine. All fine. So we'll have them make a reason and science as they use the shit that use the sensors. And then do you want him it's going to be difficulty 2. Do you want him to use more momentum to gain some dice?
Yes.
Let's see. Was he got any? He's got focus and sensors, so that'll be
Cool.
We'll tick that focus button, and then.
I can't believe no one in the chat's not giving you any more threat, Millie.
I know. I feel like with Pendek on
You
this
had to say
mission,
it.
Pendek on this mission, I might not need it. And we're going to spend some momentum. We're going to take that down to 4, so that we're using 3 dice. Oof. Right, roll these dice. Difficulty 2. Let's see what information we can get. 5 successes. 2 crits. I'm not going to roll any more
Look
dice
at
for
that.
Adun.
Awesome.
All right. So the comm signals that are on the other side are like maybe 1.5 kilometers away from Resh and Pendek, 3 kilometers away from you, from the runabout's crash site. They are incredibly distorted. Either they are in an area of massive mineral deposits, and that's what's refracting. Or they're in some sort of subterranean cave, and we're trying to get the signal through the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And the Romulan vessel, which is over to the other side, it is as disabled as your ship. It's not going anywhere soon either. There's no impulse signal or cloaking resonance feedback loop or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
The ship is stationary, but that's all. We want to spend. What have we got? 4 momentum here. No, 3 momentum here for obtaining more information if we want. I suggest spending at least one of them.
Can you pick up any Romulan life signs?
He twiddles the device and says,
Not in public.
No. He beeps the thing.
Oh, this is next gen. There's no twiddling anymore.
There's no twiddling anymore.
This is all like touch screeny stuff. So he spends a moment to refine the signals, look for life forms, lovely life forms, and says, I'm detecting at least 3 other life forms. Romulan, no doubt. They seem to be on a similar heading as Lieutenant Commander Resh.
I will com Resh then.
All right.
Resh, you got 3 Romulans heading your way, converging on that comm signal. Their ship's down, worse than ours, I think.
Fair enough. Thanks for the heads up. Pendek, if the shooting starts, get down.
Can I check for? Hang on. Let me move me on me.
So here's my question: while Pendek and Resh have been like talking with Tosh and that kind of stuff, have they been continuing ahead, brandishing fire?
Yeah.
You've been pushing forwards. Yeah. Okay.
Brandishing fire at the bugs.
At the bugs. Yeah. No.
Head on a swivel with the phaser rifle.
Sure.
I have a talent that says when you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
Yeah.
And I have combat awareness.
Yeah.
Can I attempt to detect danger or hidden enemies?
You wanna do almost like a perception check.
Because we've literally just been told that
he's going to go full Worf.
He is doing it. Yeah.
You're going to tear your shirt off and run into the trees.
Brandishing fire.
No, we've just been told there's bad guys around, so I'm looking.
No, I know, but I'm just
I know.
just being silly.
So you managed to get your shirt off.
Yes. All right. So, what are you gonna use to make this task? Definitely science. Definitely security. Insight and security. Yeah, that seems your natural instincts.
And I can use my focus because that's combat awareness.
Use your focus, and so it'll be difficulty 1 instead of difficulty 2.
All right.
3 successes. Okay.
Look at that.
So,
Where were these rolls when we were crashing?
I know.
Well, I wasn't actually flying the ship.
It was a much harder task.
It was a difficulty 4 task. So Pendek waving the fire around with Resh, keeping your head on a swivel. As you get past like the worst of this insect area, you can see maybe on like the terrain, kind of cresting, coming up over one of the hills, a squad of 3 Romulans. One of them looks like they're hobbling a bit, and they're maybe 2 kilometers to your left, 2 kilometers away. They have not yet seen you. You have 2 more successes if you would like to obtain information, find out a little bit more, or ask me some other things.
So on our present trajectory to where we're going, do I think we'll get there before they do? Because we're coming from different directions.
You'd have to kind of put your head down, or take a deep breath and double time and get there first, or you could let them get there first and maybe come around for an ambush or something.
I will. As Resh has said to me, when the shooting starts, get down. I shall point past Resh. They're over there if you want to start shooting, and then I'll just get down. Okay.
Whilst Resh decides whether she's going to just shoot everybody or make some other tactical choice, we're going to take a minute because our science officer has arrived.
Hey!
All right, we're back.
Nanu.
Grelic calling Thanon. So yeah, we're on Seku 6. Grelek and Tosh are at the crash runabout, bickering over the optimal way to salvage the impulse drive.
There is no such thing as a sonic spanner. Put it down.
And Resh and Pendek are making a tactical choice about how to deal with some Romulans on the starboard bow.
Oh, dastard Romulans.
Yeah, Romulans. So yeah, what do you do, Resh? Do you, as Pendek is like Romulans and hits the deck, do you pull your crewman up and?
Yeah, I'm going to pull him up and say double time, and then we're going to run for the communicator signal.
All right. This sounds like a fitness test.
It does, doesn't it?
Fitness security.
Difficulty, you've done some running.
Difficulty 2.
Fitness, security, perform task. I can use athletics, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy, I cannot roll above 1 success today.
You've done too much running. You've overrun.
I've overrun. It's because I'm so familiar with my route that I turned left because that's where you'd go past the food replicators. And I should have gone straight.
All right.
Resh, do you want me to carry the big gun? You seem to be struggling.
Shut up, Pendek.
All right. So let's see. Resh. Let's see if this as we run. Oof, there was an effect. All right. So you don't get injured You don't get any, like, you don't fall over, you don't whinge, that kind of stuff. There's no stress sort of thing here. But, let me just consult a handy dandy suggestion in this mission. What is your fitness, Resh?
10.
All right. You get bitten by some of the bugs as we're running through.
There's no way that's going to end well.
As Pendek charges ahead, taking the flame and the smoke with him.
I just got Harry Kimmed.
I just watched the one the other day where he dies, and at the end of it, he's like, "This is not my ship, but everybody's fine with it, and so am I."
But hey, and we'll never mention it again.
Never mention it again. It's a great one. Would you please roll 1 challenge dice? If your fitness is over 10, you may re-roll it. Let me tell you what the bad result is first. If you roll a 5 or a 6, that's bad.
Okay. So do I just click on fitness, then press perform challenge?
No, what I think we do is there an option to... No, how do we roll 1 challenge dice in Foundry? Question. Perform challenge.
There's a thing.
Perform challenge, number of dice in pool 1.
So perform challenge, number of dice in pool 1, roll dice.
2 successes. That's fine. You're going to take 2 stress instead, and you are not poisoned, which is good because bad things happen to poisoned trills.
Yeah, I do enjoy not being poisoned.
I've watched that one with Jadzia and Worf on that planet.
Yeah.
But we avert that, darn it. And yeah, the insect bites just well and swell, and you can feel the just this pain in the back of your neck as you're running to just keep up with Pendek, who must be like a young, fit and healthy human, as he's just barraged ahead with the torch of flame like he's taking part in the Olympics or something. Just charges down. So you reach this area first, Pendek. You can reach this area first. You can, as you get there, as you crest the ridge, you can't see any Starfleet crew or any scientists around. As you look carefully on one of the rocks, you see like coming out of it sideways. It looks like a science tricorder, like coming out of the rock, like it's melded into the stone. Meanwhile, back at the runabout, what is it Grelek and Tosh are doing? Are you going to wait here for them? What is the plan?
How are the repairs going, Tosh?
This will take too long. The ship will be back in 5.5 hours, so I suggest we salvage what we can, maybe catch up with the others, make sure they don't get bushwhacked by those Romulans. If Pendek's colouring in skills are anything to go by, I'm not sure he's going to be capable in a combat situation.
I do not understand the reference, but
he was colouring in.
He
had crayons and he was colouring in on the flight down, but he kept going over the lines.
That is against protocol.
A worrying thing in someone who might have to do surgery.
He's bold with his crayons. What do you think, Grelek?
What can we salvage from the ship quickly?
Not a lot. I might actually be able to get the transporter working and beam us into a good location to support them.
Most useful.
Okay.
Can you get on the
Assist?
You get on the annular confinement beam sensors, and I'll make sure that the Heisenberg compensator is working.
That's it.
I will
That is
attempt to-
actually a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go. I will attempt to remap the matrix to suit our biology.
Excellent.
Right.
Right, let's have a look.
All right, so we're going to try and transport across the planet based on Pendex.
A kilometer or two, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
based
You made
on-
it.
Based on Pendex.
You will circumnavigate the world.
His well, we got the live scans, didn't we? Is there a
Yeah.
way we can like position ourselves like
You've got
behind the Romulans?
Pendex
You got
communicator
Pendex
signal.
com badge, so you could get
That's
straight
true.
to Pendec.
That's true.
Resh broke.
Yeah, but
so-
I was thinking more of like a pincer maneuver.
Oh, you want to be behind the Romulans to come at them
But that
from
might-
either side?
Okay, so the question is, our scans of the Romulans, has that been like a live feed or was that a one shot? Like, boom, that's where the Romulans were.
I think based on the interference of the planet, it's like a
Okay.
this is
In which
where the
case-
situation is.
Okay, in which case we'll use the communicator to beam to that location.
Okay.
But hopefully not inside solid rock.
Hopefully not inside solid rock. All right, so
I'm
If
attempting
O'Brien
to
recommends not
aim
teleporting
away
inside
from
solid rock.
silicon.
all right, so the runabout, the ship is broken. There's a lot of interference on the planet. We'll call it a difficulty 4 again. However,
Mhm.
if Grelek can do a insight science
Yes.
at a difficulty of 2, we'll reduce that difficulty by his successes. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Mhm.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but
All right.
So you put your little ticks in insight and science, and you
Insight.
click perform task.
But before
Yes.
that, do you want to spend? We've got 6 momentum. Do you want to buy extra dice for Grelek?
does this task involve a computer or a sensor
Yes,
on a runabout? Does that count? Does my technical expertise work here?
I think it does. I think it
Okay.
does. We give you that focus.
Let's do that then. Then I get to reroll 1d20 anyhow.
Okay,
Let's rock and roll and see what happens.
just roll with 2. Okay.
Performing task, using a focus. Yes.
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 Huh?
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
No. Oh, focus of sensors. So yes.
Mhm.
Complication range
It's fine.
is fine. Number of dice in pool is 2.
Two.
2. Harky Kirky. Rolling the dicey.
0 successes.
Reroll one of those
Yes.
somehow.
So just click reroll results, and you'll be able to tell it how many
Ooh.
dice you'll be able to reroll one of them.
okay. That's useful.
There we go, Simon. That's what the reroll results for. It's for those talents.
Excellent.
There we go. My processor caught up.
Still no success.
Okay, so it's still difficulty 4. Grelek scans are inconclusive. Interference is too great, and Pendek is moving too fast. He's running.
He is
Okay.
remarkably swift for someone who cannot stay within the lines.
Okay, so I've got control 12, engineering 5.
I'm going to blame it on Tosh's flying.
I've got transporters and replicators as a focus, so
Yeah.
I will tick focus.
Uh-huh.
Does anyone mind me using? I know. It's not a technical problem with the ship, is it? I'm trying
No.
to use the transporter. Okay.
Please
There
leave
remind me
some
using all
momentum
6.
for fighting the Romulans.
Okay. In which case, I'll use 3 momentum if that's all right
Sure.
That's fine.
to get 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And can I use a value?
Ooh.
I don't know. Can you
That's
use a
probably
value?
what I should have done.
What values have you got?
I've got every problem has a solution.
Mhm.
Good enough is never good enough.
Mhm.
And exploring to push the limits.
All right. Well, so are you challenging the
really.
value, or are you using the value? There's 2 different ways. Like,
Yeah.
one of them we'll cross them out. We'll like Resh did. It's going to generate some complications and that kind of stuff. The other
I don't
one,
think they're actually appropriate. I was thinking exploring to push the limits, like I'm using the transporter beyond its thing. You know, I'm out here on the frontier
yeah.
to try and save a situation, you know, pushing my limits through a technology. That's kind of what it's based on.
Yeah.
But I'm I'll leave it. I've
no.
got 4 dice.
Here's the other
I've
one.
got
Good enough is never good enough, and you're not. We're showing you that good enough is like just barely good enough. Like it's a dirty, it's an ugly hack. You're gonna, bypass the thingy. What's it? You're probably actually gonna replicate yourselves on the other side rather than, that kind of stuff. That kind of terrible
2
stuff.
Toshes.
Yeah, Tosh 2. Hang on, let me just make a note.
I'm Tosh 1. Thank you.
Let me just make a note in my book.
I think you mean Grelosh.
Yes.
I can have a decent conversation.
Yeah. Tosh Tolek.
I think you'll find it's Grelosh.
Look, if that happens, we are gonna keep the character alive. We're not gonna murder the character.
I think you'll find that's up to the captain.
Aldun and I will just take turns or play the character together.
Just put you both in a box.
Love it. Loving it.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Aldun and I just texting each other, then saying the same thing at the same time. Anyway, right, I'm going to go 4 dice. Here we go.
Hey.
Do you have anything that would re-roll?
I have technical expertise as well, so I can re-roll 1d20.
Yeah, might want to re-roll that 19 maybe.
The number of dice. I just changed that to 1, don't I? I have focus.
There we go.
No.
I didn't take the handbrake off. Okay. So where was it? Where was it you wanted to transport? Are you going next to Pendek? Are you going like?
Well, if he's moving in a direction, I want to beam like 10 meters ahead.
Okay.
If he's running, because then we'll appear ahead and not.
So So Pendek, as you see this science tricorder sort of, and you clock that it's melded into the rock. You see just stood up above the rock, maybe in combat action pose. That's because there's some Romulans coming. You got your phasers ready. A Tellarite and a Vulcan appear on this rock above you, like ready.
A proper Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. What is it? Whitmore's Angels, the captain might call it. Appear on the rock, and Resh, you see these two beam in. Maybe a small bead of relief off Tosh's, like, whoof, yeah, no, did it, totally fine, wasn't risky at all.
We're not like joined in any way, are we?
No,
okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Would have been a wonderful complication if it had. Yeah.
The nose and the pointy ears.
That would be like you've got 10 threat. And like you just dump the whole load of threat, and you're like, right, we're 2 characters and now 1 character.
Yep.
Have we come out of where the insects are?
Yes, we're out of the insects area. Yeah. We're past that. We're near where these communicator signals were. And as Tosh and Gralek arrive, we see the other Romulans. You can hear them making their way through this rocky ravine. We have a moment to decide what we want to do before we start having a bit of an argy-bargy.
I will shoot at the ravine then to cause a rock fall onto the Romulans.
Ooh.
Warning shot, if you like.
Okay.
No, you could try to kill them, aren't you?
It's a warning.
Yeah. Haha, warning shot.
I like that we're being possibly like a little cautious in our explanation of this, because when you use deadly threat, I will get some threat. And we're like, no, we're not killing them.
No, it's warning. Absolutely warning.
So I will aim in front of where the Romulans are to try and block their way through the ravine, so that they have to come up and approach in the open. I'm not aiming to kill. I am aiming to dissuade.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to cause like a rock fall so they can't come through this way and they have to climb up and around?
They have to climb up and approach visibly across open ground. So I guess I'm creating a complication for them.
Yes. So you could, I think it would be insight and security to work out like the best place to cause the rock fall. Difficulty 3. Yeah. Insight security, difficulty 3. We're going to point our phaser and we're going to try and cause
I'm going to use one of those points of momentum that we've got.
Oh no, that was too many of them. There we go.
To make this work.
Oof. Do you have anything that might re-roll?
Yes, I have bold security,
All right. What's it?
Ooh.
so I can re-roll a d20. So I just set that down to 1.
Oh, Millie, you
don't I?
just got a threat
Oh, have you got a threat?
from a reroll in the chat.
Yay!
All right.
So there you go, 3 successes.
Excellent. All right.
Stupid insight.
Oh no,
Insight
sorry,
is my
it was a
dump stat.
momentum, not a threat. Sorry.
Oh, boo. I gave you the momentum. I thought I got that. Boo. Anyway, so in a moment of like everybody watches as Resh swings round her phaser rifle, and we think she's about to shoot at some Romulans, except as the camera cuts, we see she's just shooting rocks. Whole landslide of rocks fall down. Hits the fall, fill it up, and we're going to spend what is it? It's 2 momentum to make a words are hard. A
Complication?
complication. Yes. So we're going to spend 2 momentum to make the complication. What is the complication we want it to be? We want it to be what? Pathway blocked, long way round.
Approach without cover.
Approach without
Broken
cover.
legs.
Broken legs. Carry me.
Rolling on
Buried in avalanche.
All right. Okay, so they have to
Sorry.
back off a bit, climb up the side and come across the open rather than down.
By which point I'll be sat there in a raised position with a phaser 3 trained on where they've got to come from and the upper hand for shouting at them. Also, while the other 3 can then get in and investigate what we're here to investigate.
Okay, so while
I will begin scanning.
is that what Grellick's gonna flip open their tricorder and start scanning for whatever's going on? All right, yeah. Insight science, please, Grellick. Difficulty 3 because of these horrible rocks.
Okay.
I just absolutely starfleeted that, didn't I?
Oh yeah. Oh
That was
yeah.
fabulous.
Was your phaser at like 25% strength as well? Just to
You adjusted the dial just before firing. Hey!
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Do you have any like obtain information based talents or
I have one that would have been more useful to use before the expedition started, which is Expedition Expert.
Okay. Well, you weren't here, so what is Expedition Expert, and let's see how we can retcon your.
Basically, you can prepare by conducting a research task. If you succeed, momentum may be spent to allow the character to substitute their science discipline, blah, 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 none of which was relevant. Nah. Nah.
No, it's not relevant.
Not really.
Where's it? You probably. Okay.
Use a value if that would help.
No, I'm just like, do you have extra obtain information from your scan, or because that would help because we only got basic success, which means we're only going to get a limited amount of information from your scans. We're just checking before we decide that. We could mind meld with the rock. We've got mind meld.
Are you scanning to see if they're alive?
So
I'm scanning to find the source of the signals.
What you
I have. It's a focus rather than a talent, so I've probably already used that to get the dice, haven't I?
Yeah, you've already got that to get your 3 to be a success instead of a 1.
Oh.
So your focus generated the extra
Success.
Cool. So as you scan the area, trying to find out like where the Starfleet, where the scientists are.
He's in that rock.
Yeah,
He's holding that.
quickly realize like they are in the rock. They have transported down. They have not been as successful as Tosh was transporting from on the planet.
Of course.
Literally beamed themselves into the rock. What you do also gather is they were aiming for this location of the signals, which is a couple of kilometers away, because there is a massive underground cavern there. And as you're this close, you can see that there is a power reading and a signal going on there as well. It's what's emanating the alien signal. So they wanted to beam directly into this cavern. The mineral deposits and everything else on the planet is shifted, disrupted, refracted. They've beamed literally into the rock. It was probably instant death, which is...
I have found the away team.
Yeah, we'd already worked that out.
I do not think they will be needing your medical attention, Pandek.
Is the tricorder salvageable?
Now that is a useful question. Is it?
No, it's not the end of the session. I was about to get a Curse of Strahd update. So we want to try and salvage the tricorder out of the rock. What we're going to try and do? Cut it out?
Why not?
Sure. Resh, give us an insight and security. Difficulty 0. And who is going to cut out the tricorder? Who's going to do that?
Tosh.
Tosh.
Hello.
You're going to do...
I open my little waistcoat and I pull out a little laser torch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sonic spanner.
Sonic spanner. It doesn't exist.
There is no such thing as a sonic spanner.
All spanners are sonic. Look, you take it, you hit it against something metal. Ding.
Does not make it a sonic.
You gained 1 success, which will give you 1 momentum. Resh, you see you can see like rocks shifting, whatever climbing gear or whatever the Romulans are using to get up and around. They're going to be here within a few more minutes. Tosh, how are you gonna, with your sonic, your laser scalpel, whatever it is? How are you gonna remove this?
The laser cutter.
Yeah, do to get it out.
I was just curious, really. I mean, I'll try and cut through the stone around it to just like try and work it out. Maybe the outer casing of the bottom would snap off and I'd be able to pull the thing out and I might be able to see anything, the data they'd captured on the tricorder kind of thing.
It may hold valuable data, which may be most useful. Or they may have just reflected themselves into igneous rock, in which case they're idiots.
It might have been stuck on a scan cycle up until it ran out of power. You never know. It may have information about the cavern.
Data is useful. Please proceed.
Sorry, I was just laughing at somebody's suggestion for a threat spend. Okay, so I think this would be daring and engineering to kind of cut this out. This is not a...
I'm not very daring, but I'll give it a go.
You're desecrating this person's grave. Can I just tell you that?
This is not a grave.
I think you find this is his final resting place. Would you just?
There may be valuable information in this data device. I won't touch the.
Resh, you're a Starfleet officer. What's the ruling on this?
Ruling on this is that this information is part of their ongoing mission, and the best way we can honor them is by retaining and completing their mission, recording what occurred to them, registering this as their final resting place, and entering them as commendable if they manage to complete the mission they were going for.
Starfleet Protocol 272.14. I'm a Starfleet officer as well, young man.
Seriously, Pendek, read the manual.
I don't need to read the manual. Well, I shall lodge my complaint when we get back.
I can't get Pendek yet. I've not worked out their character. I'm like,
I want to see him make a complaint to the Klingon counselor, who's the person who's going to have to complain to.
Is there any flora around?
No, this is quite a rocky area, unfortunately.
Okay. I'll reach into my bag and from my colouring book, I shall find a page with a flower on it. and I shall lay it at the bottom of the stone.
Okay. So Tosh, 2 successes. We managed to kind of carve out a chunk of the rock. You realize you have to take a chunk of the rock with you because it's literally like part of the tricorder is fused together. If you take it back to some of the labs on the Aston, they might be able to fix it better here with some tricorders and the broken bits of the ship. The runabout. We're not sure we could extract enough data yet.
Okay.
This is one of those, like, it might be a bigger task that we need to accomplish. Resh has spotted these Romulans about to crest the hill. What's the plan? Shoot first? Make a diplomatic speech? Run off?
First plan is to look back at Tosh and Grelek and say, have we got anything to go on? We can't get them out, I'm assuming. Where do we go from here? Are we going back to the ship or are we moving forward?
I have located the power source and the signal. It is in 2 clicks in this direction. An underground cavern.
It's an interesting opportunity.
And more defensible than open space like this.
Yes.
Start heading that way. I'm going to lay down some covering fire. I'll be right behind you.
Okay.
As you say.
And then I will just sort of open fire on minimal phaser settings, enough to kick up puffs of dirt, little stones, make it look like there's a presence up here that is opening fire on them. With a phaser 3, I could dig a tunnel through the Romulans, but I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you could.
I'm going to dissuade them from coming this way by just like neem, 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 neem. Lots of setting level 1.
Yeah, okay, wide beam dispersal. Okay. Okay, so we start spreading this down. So what would this be? I think this is a daring...
Can I go for presence and security, because I'm trying to make it kind of an intimidating...
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's make
They don't know how many of us there are kind of thing.
Presence and security, and they'll make a... what would it be? I think it would be an insight security roll. Their Centurion, is it a Centurion that's leading them? Let's come and see. Let's have a look. What's her name?
As soon as they get names, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's a sub-commander. What's her insight? Oh, it's not her best. All right, okay. Oof, 3.
Oh.
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh, I don't think her focus in diplomacy is going to help in this. All right, let's see. She needs 3 successes or more on 2 dice. Oh, she's close. She gets 2. So you start laying down this spread. You hear like somebody shouting in like a female Romulan voice, and it's clearly like, you know, back off. Hold up, back off. There's clearly, you know, there's more Starfleet than we anticipated. We need to find an alternate route. Let's, you know, that kind of stuff. So you kind of put them on the back foot again, and then all run. Or
well, hopefully the others have started to leg it while I'm laying down the cover fire.
Sure. Yeah.
And then as soon as I've done the fire, I'll follow them.
All right, so you've used this to give everybody else a run. So I think it's just Resh that needs to make the fitness security check as you run to catch up with them. You've done all this running around the ship. It's fine.
For crying out loud. Running is
the problem is you've got used to a very flat carpeted interior.
Yeah. And nobody's told you they've just put it at like 0.75 G on that deck.
Getting back on the ship and you're like, right, I'm setting gravity to 1.4.
setting it to Vulcan.
1.4, bloody hell.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Gravity to 1.4. I'm running with a bag of bricks and a blindfold.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
instructing other security teams
You
to
and
jump out and shout
Pendek
at me.
doing your escape routine.
All right, so we run as we get closer. We get closer and closer. We can hear Resh catching up with us. She's doing all right. She's doing much better than she did earlier.
On your left.
Yeah, on your left. She catches up, and you can see up ahead. There is in this large rock. It looks like a very precisely drilled entry. It's definitely not like a natural formation. It's like a door in the side of the rock.
Knowledge of exotectonics tells me that this is not natural.
Yeah.
It's a rectangle.
They are rarely natural. There are, however, some crystalline forms that do form rectangles. In fact, cuboids rather than rectangles, because they occur in more than 3 dimensions.
This has been dug with a phaser.
Also that.
A big phaser.
Size is important.
It's actually it's pentagonal and a pentagonal corridor, like precisely mathematically exact.
It's beautiful.
It does look really cool.
Are we talking the star one or just the 5-sided?
Just the
polygon?
5 side. It's not a star. It's
Okay.
just a pen. Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
You got to walk through it like this.
Hold the wall. Everyone remember that?
It's made by a race of starfish.
Bring on the door.
Yeah. No, there's a pentagonal entranceway into the side of this outcropping, and as you get close, you can see the walls are like perfectly smooth.
Can I be scanning this? Because
Yeah,
clearly not natural.
insight and science, maybe.
Yes.
This isn't phaser cutting.
This is most unnatural. 4 successes.
Wow! All right, so difficulty 2, which means we get 2 momentum from this. So as we're scanning it, now we're closer to the signal, and now we're closer to the source of the alien signal in the area. The rocks here have an unusually large proportion of the minerals and composites of the planet, almost like they've been drawn to this area to amplify, like, to the residents, like the artificially, like, I don't know, advanced technology would maybe have transported them into this area for this purpose. Like, they're naturally occurring minerals, but the concentration here is far greater than the stuff around would have. And also, the signal, because of the extra research Grelek did since the blooms we saw, and the time he's spent analyzing the data, there is a similar, like, notable frequency in the blooms of subspace that we saw, and the signals that this planet is home to, like the emanating from this location, like whatever they are, you would guess they're made by the same species. Now you do have 2 momentum if you want to ask more, or you can bank it.
Can I tell how old this car is?
Like
By dating the thermoluminescence of the minerals having been released and exposed to the nearest star.
We're talking like thousands of years
Science.
old. Thousands. Ancient.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Unless they are extremely long-lived, I believe the race that built this may no longer be here.
Excellent. Then they won't be around to interfere with us when we turn it off and check it out.
Would be nice if they'd left a door.
It's a manual.
Are we going to head further down into the tunnels? And
Science!
Science, onward for science. Like you have to hold the Vulcan back with some of the kids' reins. Like, this is too exciting for them. Like, stop.
It's like a little tractor beam.
For science.
Yeah.
Somehow I kind of imagined that Tosh is going to be up there as well going, technology, while he's shouting science. And the two of them are going to be like Three Stooging it through doorways and slapping at each other to be the first one to get to the toys.
So we move ahead after we walk, and we walk cautiously. We've got those cool lights that they have on the. Resh has got one on her rifle, hasn't she? They have the lights, and then there's a couple of others that you probably salvaged from the wreck. We walk and we find ourselves going deeper and deeper down into the rock, into the outcropping, until eventually you can see up ahead like a light, a kind of pulsing light coming from the other end of the corridor. The sound here, you can hear a buzzing and a noise. It's not like an insect buzzing. It is that ambient kind of technology hum. And I would like Resh to make a control security test, difficulty 2.
Tactical systems?
Nope.
Infiltration?
Nope.
Survival?
Yes, I'll give you that.
There you go.
All right. So for a brief moment, it's a little bit like back on the Aston when the blooms were around and you found yourself fascinated with them. There's a moment where you are like, I need to find I need to, and then you catch yourself. You're like, no.
That's Danko.
No. You can't. You have to stop. You stop yourself. You don't break into a jog. And you walk ahead. You folks kind of get to a point where you can decide if you're going to just run into the room and lick all the lights or send Pendek in first so he can assess the radiation levels. I don't know. What do you want to do?
I think Tosh, Grelek, get in there, do your thing. Pendek, keep an eye on them.
I'll push him out of the way. I'll push her out of the way and walk into the room.
Okay.
I'm going to set up here by the door.
Mm-hmm.
And go on Overwatch.
Okay. Pendek, you going to borrow someone's phasers? I don't think you brought one with you. Or do you?
Pendek's got phaser 1.
He's got phase 1. You're going to stand there with Resh and point your phaser up the tunnel for the inevitable Romulan assault?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then Grelek and Tosh, you're going to make your way into the room. All right. So as
salivating.
Scanning.
This is kind of
science.
Finding weird technology on like an abandoned planet. It's kind of like Tosh's. That's what he used to do with like surveying and finding like crash ships and stuff.
We must record everything exactly as it is. Touch nothing, Tosh.
I'm busy like touching it.
So as we enter the room, this is another pentagonal room, and it must go up all the way to maybe a meter or two of the rock above. It's huge. It's like enormous, and there's a centerpiece to this room is this huge obelisk, this huge 5-sided obelisk that goes right up in the center of the room, and it's got like this strange little pool around the bottom with a nice little set of, like a little stone wall. So it's in water, and you can see on the walls around the room, like behind the sorry, I've just seen that message. Nobody is licking the obelisk.
Oh, yeah.
And then, the walls themselves, it's almost like they are readouts because you can see them glowing with like symbols. But it's like more subtle than the panels on the ship. It in areas where there's nothing on, it looks like the natural stone formation. So whether it's projection from the obelisk or something deep in the rock themselves, you can't quite work out. And as you look,
Yet.
as you look and you see, there is like this shimmer of light that kind of refracts through the obelisk, and that's what's causing this glowing, pulsating light and this ambient kind of hum in the air, almost like static.
I believe we have found the source of the transmission.
How do we turn it off? Let's have a look.
There appear to be control surfaces manifesting themselves through the very rock.
It's pretty cool. Gonna go over and start seeing if there's a way, if I can see like power controls, defense system controls. That's the kind of two things that I'm kind of focusing on.
Okay, so you walk around. It doesn't look like there's any sort of else, touchscreen or anything, any knobs or dials or anything like that. As you get around to maybe the opposite side of the room, you can see that there is like a recess in the wall, about Tosh's about head height, face height, and it's probably about the size of a hand. But it's just like a round, pentagonal recess in the wall.
There we go.
I put my hand in it.
Okay.
I thought you might.
I would like you to make a fitness and security
Grellick,
test.
scan this. Grellick, scan this. I'm about to do something.
Pendek, I think we should scan him.
Do you?
It's Jack O'Neill looking into the weird
I'm
alien
like a
device,
frontier
isn't it?
engineer. I like stick my head into things
Oh,
before I know what they are.
do it.
Yeah,
You know
fitness
you're
and
wrong.
So I'm
security
going to put my
test.
hand.
Difficulty
fitness and
3.
Oh, blimey. This is not my strong suit. Here we go.
Sadly, it is
Fitness and
mine.
Yeah.
You're
Fitness
busy.
and security. Weird alien shit as a focus. Is that? Does everyone mind if I use a couple, 3 momentum to get
A
2
couple
extra
all.
dice?
Oh, the momentum.
Right, now I've got
Go.
4 dice. Here we go. It's not great. It's not mine.
But if you will, go sticking your fingers into
Did that
strange
roll?
alien holes.
Hasn't rolled yet. No.
Hasn't rolled, no.
Oh, weird.
There we go.
Oh, right, it took a while.
Yeah, just lagged a bit.
2 successes.
All right, I would like you to roll. Let me just check in the thing.
And challenge dice.
3 challenge dice, please.
Okay. How do you die?
Like this.
Violently.
Ah. One damage.
1 stress.
I'm up to 4.
So pain like racks through your body, Tosh, and there's a moment where you're like stunned.
Scanning.
Yeah, all right.
Aja?
Yeah. There's a moment or two where you're stunned, and Resh and Pendek, you can hear in the room like Tosh yelp with pain. Grellick, you can scan if you wish. You can make a definitely like insight science or daring science if you prefer. Although that doesn't sound very Vulcan.
No, I'd go with reason or control.
No, I think this is insight.
Okay. Work on my insight, clearly.
Scanning. It because it's more. It's got to be insight to scan him rather than run over and render aid, hasn't it? Ooh, there was a complication. Excellent. Excellent. I like complications. I'm going to use this complication. Right. Okay.
Go with it.
So you
We're back to Gralosh again.
Yeah, Gralosh. No, Gralosh. So you swing around to get data as Tosh is like screaming in shock in the pain. You instinctively switch from like passive scans to active scans, and the room lights up. There is some sort of like announcement, but it's not in a like the UT hasn't had enough language to understand what it says. So it announces something, and the obelisk lights up, and there is a distinct feeling of like it keeps pulsating in a much more regular light show than before. After the announcement.
Whatever you did, Tosh, it appears to have activated the obelisk. Maybe do it again. See if it turns it off.
What happened to my hand?
It's painful. Like when you can almost feel like static electricity.
So I've got my hand back.
Yeah, you've still got a hand. It's not been chopped off
onto the wall or anything. No, I worried if it was like stuck or something.
Yeah, maybe the initial pain was like static, forcing you to keep your hand there. And as you kind of eventually pull it away after a moment or so, you can feel like you could probably shock Grelek quite badly if you touched him. But it dissipates.
I'm so doing that. I'm going to go over and go, thank you, Grelek. Your scan deactivated it. And I'll pat him on the back and
yeah, discharge.
Take 5 stress.
You are a highly
not pleasant
individual.
Pendek, I think somebody needs to be stabbed with a hypo spray.
You going to go in and do some medical, Pendek?
Get away from me.
Please maintain the security cordon around this area. We have discovered something of inestimable value.
I am a security cordon.
Yeah.
No, I'll stay here.
Okay.
It's the Vulcan way, I've discovered in recent times. Let the pain sink in a bit.
It helps focus the mind.
So as we're stood there a moment, this garbled kind of noise, this announcement goes off again, and it still continues to kind of go through this sort of flashing and light show.
I'm
scanning. Have you two activated that thing?
Is there less flashing? Like, is there like incrementally smaller amount of flashing, and then it will get smaller and smaller and smaller? Is it that kind of repeated flashing? Do
you wait like for the?
You gotta wait for the next one.
All right,
and see if it's there's some way of seeing if it's like a countdown to some.
Have you two initiated some kind of tachyon phase cascade?
No.
You know what? Yeah, there is the intervals seem to be decreasing.
Are there any symbols that are slowly getting smaller?
They're not getting smaller.
They're like an evil laugh.
The what is clearly a display around the room has got things flickering around, but
what happens when the lower decks crew make it to the higher ranks?
Grelek, this looks like a descending numerical value.
Are there any other controlled surfaces that you can find and stick your fingers into?
None that I can see. Perhaps
look.
With your enhanced Vulcan synapses, you should stick your hand in the hole.
Well, it's true. I am superior.
You could. Would you like to make like a reason engineering or reason science task?
No, I'm just going to let him stick his hand in the hole first.
Oh, okay.
I'll do reason science.
I'll do reason engineering.
Okay, reason engineering and reason science. You can both make the scans. It's difficulty 0.
This is like. There's the stupid.
Hit the stupid button. Oh, I got a success for being stupid.
I got 2 successes.
No, it says it in the adventure.
I'll bank the momentum.
All right, you're going to bank.
Has somebody actually written something that's been able to accurately predict what our players will do.
Your stupid arsehole players will
You
not.
should write to
Look,
them.
folks, this is written for the Living campaign, which you run in game stores. So you work.
Yes,
Yeah.
basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I put my face in the glowing hole.
I was tempted to put my face in it. I thought it was
I
a
haven't got to
Stargate
lick the
reference for a minute.
obelisk yet.
Convenient. So, all right. So we're going to bank Tosh's 2 momentum. Grelek, you got 1 success. Do you want to? What we realize is maybe half a kilometer or so below the obelisk, there is a building charge of the same energy signature as took out your runabout, and it is building. Grelek, you realize like the magnitude of this building, like the capacitance or whatever is holding it, it could reach like thermonuclear, tons kind of explosion sort of thing.
The unnatural geology of this area appears to be creating something on the scale of a planetary ion cannon.
Yes, it's a Death Star.
I run out of the room.
So tinfoil hats and switch off electrical devices.
All right.
Please remove anything metal from your body.
Or it will.
So we've still got 1 momentum that we haven't either banked or obtained information with, which is Grelek's. What do we want to do with that momentum?
I want to find some sort of control panel, whether I understand it or not. I would like to trace power lines or this particular socket to something that gives me some opportunity to get control or get data.
Okay. So you scan around the room, following like the way the obelisk is distributing power, this kind of stuff. You realize that not far, like the panel that Tosh was at, is a key area of the control here. If you can manage to interface with it, you could maybe brute force a way for it to shut down. It would have to be some sort of epic Starfleet kind of moment. And
Mind meld with it.
Mind meld with it, maybe.
I was thinking that, actually, yes.
But unfortunately, the power build means you would only have roughly 6 minutes to do it. And the way the game, this is essentially an extended task here. So yeah, you've got a very short time to work out how to do it. Or you could just run and have a fight with the Romulans.
I recommend we split our efforts. Tosh, this is the master control panel. See if you can find a way to disrupt its link to the obelisk, but do not make that break until I say so. I am going to attempt to meld myself with the electromagnetic nature of the control system, feeling that this advanced civilization must have left behind an intelligence to run this dangerous and perilous device.
I'm not sure these Pentonians built this thing to mind meld, did they?
We're calling them Pentonians?
Well, why not?
Perhaps now is not the
It's
time
logical,
to
isn't it?
discuss ontological differences in the naming strategies
I do not believe
of
that
unknown
is the
species.
best name for them. Just watch your hole.
Do you think capturing one of the Romulans might help if they might know more information?
They
about
won't
this?
have a clue. They landed at the same time we did, looking for the same thing. If we bring them in here, they're going to try and capture this for the Empire. That's how they work.
Oh, this is not being captured by anyone. This is going to explode unless we can stop it.
I don't know. It looks like this thing's exploded a few times already. What is it? Is it a weapon? Is it a tactical system?
That
Can
is
I punch it?
unclear. No.
Building up to a critical cascade.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way Millie's just clicking on like self-destruct buttons. And,
Oh, it's just bringing up the, like, folks can't see it, but it's the
Can we
extended
communicate with the
task.
Romulans?
I mean, you could run up and shout. They're probably at the top of the tunnel now. We've had a good...
Maybe tell them that the whole planet's going to explode in a minute anyway, so they
Hey,
might want to get back to their ship.
I'll run up and tell them.
Okay.
I believe you.
Disruptor.
All right, Pendek. Pendek turns around and he's like, I'm gonna go and diplomacy the Romulans. Okay. Sure.
Get 'em drunk.
Computer, activate emergency medical hologram.
Right. Okay.
Computer, end program. You failed the simulation.
Kobayashi All right. So we charge up ahead, Pendek. We run, and you can see them. They're at the tunnel, at the start of the tunnel. There may be 300-400 meters ahead. Resh, do you let him run?
I can't really stop him, can I?
I mean, you can't. You may.
Without like leg sweeping him
You
and
can't.
Phaser him.
compromising my own security position.
Okay. So we let him run off on his own.
It's not tactically sound what he's doing. I will let him run off on his own and see how it plays out.
All right, Pendek. There are 3 Romulans, and as they run ahead, as you run ahead, you can see them. They're at the edge of the tunnel. You have got but a moment before the sub-commander spots you and issues her order to the 2 Romulans with her. What do you shout?
Stop. We think it might be about to explode. Do you know anything more about it?
Make a presence command roll. Yeah.
They're already no numbers.
Presence command.
Yeah.
She again will make an insight. Insight security, I think this is.
So can I use one of my values?
Yeah, what is your value?
My value is ask questions first, then shoot.
Oh yeah, it's a good value.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's not like you.
I'm basically doing this so I can
You
use
do
my
not have that value.
I have that value. So I click on them.
Remind us.
I have the value ask forgiveness, not permission.
Can I use? Oh, well, see, combat awareness. No, that's not really.
No, you don't want to use
Okay.
anything combat related if you're trying
No.
to be.
Right, so hit perform task. Use value.
Yeah.
Use a momentum if you want to get an extra die.
I'll use some momentum to get an extra dice, please.
Because we've got 2, that breaks,
So do I use 1?
Yeah, use 1.
One momentum
Okay.
to get another.
Yeah. And then I roll my dice, yeah?
Yeah.
Using a value.
All right. You get 2 successes.
Okay.
I'm
quite happy with that as my target was 10.
Good. It's good. You got close. You got close to 3. Let me just check. Rather insight. Security is 3. Zero successes. Okay, so
can I just did I just diplomacy the shit out of that?
you might have diplomacied a bit out of that. I'm not saying it's the.
She won't shoot you out of hand.
Yeah, she does not shoot you out of hand. She like puts her hand up to the Romulans behind her, and or maybe one of the other Romulans like says something that you don't quite hear, and she says, "We've detected the buildup of power in there ahead. Are you destroying the artifacts that created the signal?"
No, our scientists are trying to understand it. And can I point out, we have bigger guns than you.
Oh, that kind of diplomacy.
I'm just saying, there's only so much you can do with the Romulan.
She looks at you. She's like, you may have bigger guns, but if we destroy enough of it, Starfleet will not have the intelligence either. There will be no advantage in your arms race to destroy the Romulan Empire.
I don't have an arms race to destroy the Romulan Empire. I'm a medic. Do any of your people need medical attention?
Boom.
Make another command roll. But you could change it to daring if you want.
Please.
Daring
Thank
and
you.
command.
Daring and command.
Or
Can I now use combat awareness?
I suppose.
Um,
If I don't let
if
you
I'm-
use it one roll tonight, you might keep
Yeah,
asking it forever.
yeah. I'm assuming I've already used ask questions
Is
first.
that this
then.
game's trade farmer?
No, yeah. Pendeck does have trade farmer.
I
I
know.
do have trade farmer. So I'm assuming. So ask questions first. I've used, so that's done, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
you've used that one today.
Right. Okay. Right, okay. Perform.
Wow, you're
yes.
burning through your values quickly there.
Focus. If I still got momentum, I might have.
Got one momentum left.
I'm just going to use it.
Okay. Three successes. The Romulan that has been limping is like, yes, we have injured. Are you prepared to heal us in exchange for leniency? She's a Romulan. She's not like losing face.
I will gladly come and provide aid to your wounded.
So you see her like lower a weapon. Meanwhile, back in the obelisk chamber, what are we doing?
I will gladly make more wounded for you.
While he mind melds, I'm going to look round the hand area to see if there's any way of like severing stuff or whatever.
Okay.
Just trying to get my fingers in the right place on the console. Can't quite figure it out. My mind to your mind. Is there anybody there? I look.
Gralek, why don't you mind meld with Tosh while he does the interface?
Oh, thank you.
What is it? The bridge. It'd be a bridge between. Okay.
I would need to do much purification after such a task.
No doubt. You'd probably enjoy it as well, Vulcan.
I do not enjoy.
Oh, come on. We both know that's not true deep down.
Perform admirably.
Well, I must admit, you have done very well on this mission, sir.
Okay.
Teleportation skills were very good earlier.
So. Sorry, I'm just refreshing myself on the extended task rule because they're always the most complicated thing for me, and I never get them right. So the difficulty, we need to get 15 successes to switch this off, and the time track is 4. If we do more than 4 rolls, we've ran out of time. More than 4 attempts at this task. We need 15 successes. And does anybody have talents that help with extended tasks?
Do not believe so.
No,
I have quick to action, but that's combat.
that's combat.
So
I
that's
nearly
not gonna help.
took the one that gave you more work on extended tasks, but I didn't.
I have computer expertise. Whenever I attend a task that involves programming or study of a computer system, I may add a bonus D20.
Okay, yeah, we can add a bonus D20
Oof.
to our rolls.
That to each roll?
Can I use my value? Every problem has a solution.
Yes, you definitely can.
God, yes, I've been throwing values at this thing. Remain cool and calm at all times.
Okay.
Can I help with those successes, or is it Grellick?
Am I able to?
This is the sort of thing, you know earlier where we had Grellick make a roll that would have helped with Tosh. We can do it like that.
Do it the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt Capiche, thank you very much in chat. He's helping me out here. So it's not 15 successes, it's 15 work. Which is from your successes, your challenge dice rolls.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Determines the number of intervals. So there's 4 intervals. Oh my gosh, why are these so complicated? I might just scrap
Why
this.
don't they use the successes from the rolls?
Because I think that generates your challenge dice, which then you can get breakthroughs, which will get you more the way through. But I'm getting confused and I'm really tired. So what we are going to do is just simplify this massively.
Roll some dice.
And roll some dice and get a result and see whether we blow everything up. And we'll come back when I'm less tired with extended tasks. How about that?
We'll all be dead and we have some new characters.
Oh, we could be dead. And Thenan can get more Q. More Q, more crew. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind playing a Q.
We can be Q next time.
You could do 4 intervals with 8 successes needed, which is kind of the average of 2 on each roll, and then do 4 rolls.
4 rolls. You've only got one. We've got no momentum left. Yeah. So
Could I help
let's
to reduce it to 7 or something like that?
So let's start with the mind meld, because if we can't succeed on a mind meld, we're screwed. So let's start there.
Yep.
Grelek, what is the typical role? What is the mind meld talent? Task is posed by unwilling participant. So you have undergone training in telepathic techniques which allow you melding of minds through physical contact. Does always require a task. Okay, so we know to make the physical contact with the obelisk requires a test, because Posh got stunned before. So we need a fitness and security task of difficulty 3 to make the contact.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's not my strength either. That's why. We need to get the trill in here to punch this wall.
How do values help?
So your value is going to set a d20 to a 1.
Okay.
And you either go with it or go against it.
Definitely going with it. I'm going to use the manual does not cover everything value. This is highly unorthodox, but I believe that I can join myself with this computer intelligence.
I mean, there's the other option if you want to perhaps not you make the sciences. Like, there are times where Tuvok uses himself as a bridge for the mind meld. So you could perhaps try and use yourself as a conduit for Resh to mind meld with the obelisk if we want to do it that way. But obviously,
bear in mind as well that as a joined trill, I can pull out a previous life and use that to get myself an extra focus.
Just got a momentum, by the way.
Well, thanks, chat.
Thanks, Farrow.
So there's the other option.
I think I'm just going to go
with Grelek doing it.
Hug the obelisk.
Okay, so you're going to make the roll. Fitness and security difficulty 3 to make contact and sustain a mind meld with the systems.
Yeah. Using my value.
Use your momentum.
Oh, is it momentum as well?
You could get an extra dice if you want. So,
no, you got 2 successes from that value, haven't you?
Got 2 successes from
using
so
you
our
just
value.
need 1 from your roll. Yeah. Okay.
And then I can spend the momentum to deepen the mind meld.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Cool.
Oh,
hey.
Okay.
We did it.
Oh.
We did it. Fine.
Take all of those.
All right. So we generate 1 momentum from it anyway.
I am licking the obelisk.
Yes, you get to lick the obelisk. So
highly unorthodox.
This is not how we science.
There is a very deep and strange mind here. you get the feeling that it is more than just an artificial intelligence that has somehow been granted like psychic contact, because there are that sort of ancient artifacts like the Catras and those sort of things on Vulcan that perhaps you will have at least read about in the science account. This is more than that. This is not an echo of some sort of mind. This is a mind inside the machine operating here, and it's deep and it's ancient. And as you connect, you realize part of the signal that has been going out is looking for contact. It's waiting for an appropriate response, a signal that's been pulsating out into space.
Somebody go and get some whales.
Yes, some whales, some fish.
Nice big black monolith.
Monolith whales.
Yeah, why not? Okay. I have made contact. I will. So it's looking for an appropriate response.
Mm-hmm.
So I can spend momentum to gain more information or perform deeper telepathic exchanges. I would like to perform a deeper telepathic exchange by effectively attempting to mind dump everything I learned at the Vulcan Academy of Science back into it.
Okay.
To try and demonstrate that I am a worthy intelligence to be talked to and not destroyed.
All right. Sure. So we connect. We start to pour out all this information into the obelisk. Let's make this some sort of science check. Daring, control.
Would go
Presence,
Control.
maybe.
Presence, possibly.
Because he's imparting his take.
Not. Could we go with control instead?
I mean, he is a Vulcan. Control is a very important aspect of their psyche. You could argue it
Control
that
is
way.
a big part of their
I would
psyche,
take
yeah.
control or reason as being appropriate, given I am attempting to mind dump the Vulcan Science Academy.
Reason. Yeah, reason. And I say this is difficulty 3 because there's a lot to kind of get in there.
I know, I've seen those bowls they study in.
Yeah.
Like loads of screens. in there.
Absolutely.
I've prepared new insults for you today.
Like 8 copies of Wikipedia all running at the same time.
Let's begin.
Given
Difficulty
the
3 again.
ridiculous importance of this, I'm going to use another value of one must remain cool and calm at all times. As I brain vomit.
Oh!
Whoa!
I'm burning things I don't need to. But
Look
what
at
the
that.
hell?
I had 6 minutes. I did it in 3.
Yeah.
I've made a friend.
So yeah,
Got a pet AI.
you begin to explain, like, and you feel like you're almost updating it or exchanging information, relevant, up to date information with this consciousness in the machine.
Nothing that transgresses Starfleet protocols, though.
No.
No warp technology.
Captain, it's math. It's all math.
I would like you at the end to make a control command test. Difficulty 3, please.
Yeah, okay.
That's just to let go.
I don't want to let go. Oh, I failed.
No, you got 2. Okay. So as you're downloading, exchanging this information, a wave of like knowledge, sounds, voice, a chorus similar to the blooms you experienced back when we were making our way here, but so loud, so overwhelming, Resh or Tosh, as you watch, there is a moment where uncharacteristically Grelek just howls, which is unnerving because Vulcans don't typically make noise, express pain, or that kind of stuff. And then Grelek.
Can I record the moment?
No, that's not Starfleet.
He hath gazed too long into the abyss, and the abyss gazeth back into him.
Yeah. And yeah, so Grelek, this chorus comes back, and you watch the Vulcan as the Vulcan sinks to his knees on the floor, and then the whole chamber begins to dim. Pendek, will you make a medicine check of some kind for me? What is your preferred method of medicine here?
What we go in? Can I go insight?
Yeah, insight medicine.
Yeah, insight medicine.
Do you have any appropriate?
I have emergency medicine.
Yeah, emergency medicine.
Focus.
Yeah.
Using focus.
Oof! Excellent. So you look over this Romulan. It's not too different than treating a Vulcan, to be honest. When you get down to it, these bumps and scrapes on the surface. This guy has maybe sprained, fractured his leg. That's what's causing the limp. But the others have some superficial bumps and bruises. You render aid to them, and the subcommander is reading data from the not reading their scanners or whatever, and she looks at you, and she is whatever you've done has dissipated the energy output. I'm going ahead to see what you're doing down there, Starfleet.
So shall I roll unarmed combat now?
Are you just gonna tackle her?
Well, I'm basically gonna do my emergency medicine, put her out of action.
Okay.
Because that's what you have to do sometimes. Is just
hypo spray to the neck.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think this would be.
As she walks past us.
I think this would be a daring medicine.
So my focus is my two remaining values are I will make my name and I die first. I think I die first is very good because I either will or won't.
Okay.
So I think that, yeah. Cool.
You're gonna.
So daring, security.
Hang on, but the doctor died first. You didn't die first. Surely you can't use that value
No,
today.
the doctor was an NPC. Doesn't care.
I'm joking.
Let him have his glorious moment.
All right.
He'll have another red shirt next week.
Yeah.
And she is
It can be the EMH.
have to get a advanced stuff to
24th century hollow emitter.
Yeah.
If I use I use daring and security, or do I use daring and
medicine?
Haven't you got a talent that's like, damn it, I'm a doctor, not a security chief or something?
I have, but I have security 4 and medicine 4. So.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, so you've got a talent that would let you use the other one anyway.
Yeah.
So you can use medicine or security.
They're both 4.
Okay. Well.
Security 4.
Yeah.
Because he's got to keep people away from his vodka still.
Yeah. True.
And hide it.
Daring, medicine, and then I can use one for that value. That.
Oof.
I got
All right.
4 successes.
Nice.
So yes, I used I'm a doctor, not the chief. So I could use medicine, and I could use emergency medicine. There you go. I've done it.
She gets 1 success in spotting this. She's not called self-destruct. That was just what I accidentally named the thing. She gets 1 success. So she at the last moment, just as she feels this cold hyperspray on her neck, she whips round and like flails. Do you catch her as she falls to the floor, or are you
yeah,
just going to let her
absolutely.
body slump?
No. I'll catch her.
All right. So she falls into your arms. The other two Romulans who you've kind of put plasters on, done a bit of dermal regeneration.
Yeah.
They scrabble to grab their disruptors. Have you still got like the hyper spray at her neck?
Yeah. And let's go with that.
Is that what do you do? What do you say as because they're bringing up their disruptors? You've just taken out their sub commander.
Surely
just tell
Pendex
them.
euthanized them already.
I don't know.
Well,
Slow acting poison.
You would have thought.
Yeah.
You would have thought you'd have put them out. But I'll just say to them, drop your weapons or she dies.
All right. Daring and security, difficulty 1.
Okay. Daring security, difficulty 1.
Surely they're thinking, I'm about to get promoted then.
Maybe.
Excellent.
So
Maybe
can I
they're not
use-
sure about this weird embroidered rank this
Okay.
this human has on his clothes. They've
Yeah.
never seen it before.
Rear Admiral.
He must be a
I'm
big.
not trying to use anything.
All right. So they cautiously like place their disruptors on the floor and step back a little warily, hobble back because they are injured. Gralek is on his knees, almost passed out. Tosh, you see that the whole obelisk, the room kind of drops and darkens. Resh, Pendek hasn't ran back down the corridor screaming, so either he's dead or he's done something good.
Or
Dead.
both.
Or both. What are we gonna do? What do we do? No one?
Tosh, what's the situation in there?
In the room, I'm deliberately looking the other way while Grelic has his moment of weakness. Yeah, and I'm like, I can't seem to find any kind of access panels, and then I'll wait for him to like stand up, and then I'll turn around and I'll be like, is it time to leave?
There is much still to be learnt here, but the danger has passed. I believe I have come to an understanding with the intelligence.
Oh, well, that sounds like it's not going to be any kind of trouble in the future. There are Romulans down there and Pendek, so there's probably not all the threat gone.
I'm sure Resh can deal with that.
Maybe we should.
Inconvenience.
I might go and give them a hand. Just I can't seem to find any panels or any way to access this technology, which is hugely infuriating. But I don't want someone to die while we're down here. So
I will join you shortly.
be safe.
You as well.
All right, so I think we have a moment where the scene changes and we cut to perhaps standing outside the complex, the obelisk.
Mhm.
In that case, we'll have the Romulans cuffed.
Yeah. And Thenon, you hear like Ashton to away team, USS Felicity Aston to away team. How are you doing? We had a brief run-in with a Romulan ship in the nebula. We've recovered the Susquehanna. What's the status of the away team?
7 to beam up, Captain.
7? I'm only
7.
getting 3 comm signals down there.
Yeah. We have prisoners.
We've still got those pirates in the brig. I'm not sure what we're going to do with prisoners. Yeah. Stand by.
They can double bunk.
Yeah, they might have to double bunk. So we beam everybody back to the Ashton. We march some Romulans from a room to a brig. I think there are 2 cells. We have a cell with an Orion pirate in it. looking beefy with things bolted onto his head. And then we have
Stick them in together. Come on, let's.
Just for fun.
Can we not just contact the Romulans and tell them they can come and get their 3 crewmen?
We can't leave them on planet.
No, I didn't mean
We,
that. I meant
we will transfer them
Transfer them.
to the
We gotta-
Romulans.
Protocol.
We got to ask them a few questions first, haven't we?
They will be transferred to the Romulans. Don't
that's what I
worry.
figured. I'm not worried.
He's not worried. He's just
I'm not dead.
outmaneuvered them and survived an encounter with Romulans.
I've learned about Romulan medical stuff.
It's pretty much the same as Vulcan medical stuff, but don't tell them that.
Yeah.
Either of them.
Don't
Very
don't tell them.
different.
Completely different.
Very different.
And we end the session. Like, I think there is a nice little scoot. All right, yeah. So we've deactivated what we think is the self-destruct. We've made a pact with the intelligence of the
If that's the thing causing the blooms as well, then we may have stabilized that issue.
It's not the thing, like Grelek would know, it's not the thing that caused them, but it's the same species that's responsible for them.
Antonians
Related.
have done both things.
Antonians, is that what we're calling them?
Still not convinced that is the right nomenclature.
You've got to call them Quintonians just to get to him.
All right, Grelek, make a insight and science roll.
Why does it have to keep being insight? Okay. What am I doing?
Insight and
Thinking?
science.
Sciencing.
Um,
What basis? Can I use a focus?
This is, I guess, intuiting and trying to sift through. It's a bit like Flight of the Navigator. It's put so much information into your brain. You're not sure, A, whether you can retain it all, or B, if you can flip through it. It's fortunate you have a Vulcan mind. A lesser mind would not be able to deal with this, so to speak.
Melted underneath the weight.
Yes, it's a.
You just parcel it out to former lives. I don't see what the fuss is about. Each former life can take a
Can
chunk
I
of the
spend
information.
some
It'd be easy.
momentum? How do we feel about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we've got 4. Well, we've transitioned from one scene to another, maybe. So we've got 3. But
I'll spend 1.
you spend 1.
Give me another dice.
Yeah, 2 successes. Okay.
I get 2 successes.
So this intelligence, this life form, this thing placed in the computer is it calls itself or it's from a species called the Tikal. Tikal. Tilikaal. Tilikaal? I'm very bad with names.
One of them.
Yeah.
Tilcal.
Tilcal.
Do.
And it is ancient and old. It has no reference with like your timeline to line up with its measure of time. So it's hard to kind of parse where it's come from and what it's thinking about. It feels lost. Like there is a great sense of loss, and requirement, and short of further kind of conversation with the mind, it's impossible to kind of understand what they were as a people, because what it's given you is just vast amounts of like events, which is, and this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, and then like sitting down to perhaps parse that with something else might give you an idea of when. But this was a vast species that lived all across the Shakelton Expanse, and this base here is almost a little bit like a Ray 3.5. It was sending out information and receiving information, and it's waiting for its other comrades to speak back to it, and it hasn't heard that in centuries. Is there anything specifically, because this is difficulty 0, so with 2 successes, is there anything more before this vast amount of knowledge begins to seep out of your ears that Grelek wants to try and ascertain?
I guess if it's been acting as a relay station, I would be interested in if there was a central point or if there were kind of points of most contact, and try and then map those against our astrogation charts.
Yeah,
Okay.
Even the next links in the chain on either side
Nice.
Yeah.
would be a start, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just don't try and hack the hydrogen communication network.
Let's see.
I feel like Alduin's going to be playing a small flute at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of meditating going on. Serious incense smoke. Yes, I'm meditating. Absolutely.
Totally meditating.
Yo, Pendek.
It's a flute. Why is there smoke coming out of the end of your flute?
It's traditional.
Aren't you supposed to blow into a flute, not suck out of it?
This is a Vulcan flute. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. It gives you some vague ideas. Like, I can't find exactly like the locations. It gives you some names that don't quite translate to you, but with the idea of like, you know, one central planet, a couple of extra planets in the system, a binary star and 2 moons kind of stuff. Like, we will be able to perhaps extrapolate from some of the advanced sensor probes of the area and the map, stellar cartographics. We could maybe work out a few sites of interest as we see Grelek frantically kind of typing these things down or drawing them in a Vulcan book or something.
And drawing them in the Vulcan book, and there's lots of circles and angular lines.
Yeah, and red
points of
string.
Difference. No, it's not a conspiracy book.
So that would be 1 success. Would you like another success to ask more information?
Yes, but I don't know what to ask.
Everybody else can help.
Go on.
Anybody else got
What do we want to know from the ancient intelligence?
What happened to the Pentonians?
I think you'll find they're called the Quintonians.
What happened to the Tilical? Why did they stop?
If it knows, it may
If
not
it
know.
knows. Yeah, that's something that would be
Sending
useful
signals
for
out,
us.
What was the last transmission it received, I guess? Was it a general alert? Was it a help we're being overrun by
The message
things in
saying,
cubes?
stand by.
Like people writing books when someone's banging on the door to come in and attack them.
Yeah.
Oh, they're here.
Drums in the deep. Yeah.
It plays the last recording it received. We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender
Your
your ships.
technology, yeah.
The weak will perish.
Seems positive.
This is the voice of the Mr. Rod.
Boop, 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 boop.
FAB.
Okay, so the last kind of update was a protection sort of mandate. Place the a dairy into protection zones to save the rest of the race.
The dairy.
ADERI.
Not a dairy.
A dairy.
The dairy into protection zones.
For the good of all of the Tilical.
Secure the milkman for the benefit of all.
Yeah, they were lactose intolerant, and they needed to put all the dairies.
Why have they got dairy? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is illogical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So frantically writing these things down in
Right on the walls by this point.
on
probably.
the walls, things on the floor. And the last bit of the episode, if we will, as we're sort of panning across the sort of ship, maybe like what's Pendek doing at the last part of the show? What's he up to?
So I'll have just a little shea root left.
Mm-hmm.
Won't be very much of it left. Just chilling out, and I'll be sending a message to Resh going.
What's Tosh doing?
Tosh is running, checking our other shuttles and things to like protect them against this kind of inverse polaron field that we detected. He's starting to try and build up a defense for other shuttles against that.
And Resh, what's our chief of security doing?
Recording my log. Chief of Security's log, stardate.
Stardate. I can get you the stardate if you want.
Go on then.
48442.7 or something.
48437. It's probably like 0.9 now.
Well,
than
that
0.4.
then. Security Chief's log. And then a full breakdown of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Executive officer. It is with considerable surprise and reluctance that I suggest a brevet promotion to non-commissioned officer Pendek to the rank of acting ensign for bravery in the field and resolving a diplomatic situation with remarkable aplomb. Please don't make me regret these words, Pendek.
Delete file.
Then I shall rub some hydrocortisone cream on my neck and drink a large amount of Andorian ale.
All right. So as you
I don't
rub
care if it's illegal in the Federation.
Yeah.
I grew up on an Andorian world.
as you rub the cream, like the medicine that you've been given on the insect sting, and you look down to pick up your ale, perhaps in front of the mirror in your like, because you're an officer, so you've got your own bathroom, and then you take a sip and you look back up, and in the mirror is a person you don't recognize. And that's where it ends. Somebody Resh does not recognize. Not any.
The line here is, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Evil Resh.
Evil Resh. Yeah. Maybe
Do
not.
they have a goatee?
No, they do not have a
Okay.
goatee.
Not evil then.
Oh, Spider Queen Long, she has subscribed. Thank you very much, Spider Queen Long. Hooray.
Thanks, Spider Queen Long.
8 months. Those are rookie numbers.
No, that's amazing. Be nice.
That's brilliant. Woo!
Be nice. And that is where we'll end Signals episode 2 of our Shakelton Expanse. Thank you very much for bearing with me while I am tired and I bumble through the rules of Star Trek Adventures. I do appreciate your support.
That was great fun. That was really good.
We don't need no stinking extended rolls.
I did
Pendek for captain.
I did think we were going to explode the obelisk at
Yep,
one
me
point.
too.
I did
Me
think
too.
we were going to explode it.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's very glad that we didn't. And I did think if Pendek had not made those, we would have just had disrupted crewmen on the floor. Fortunately, our sub commander rolled naff. Oof. But no, that was good. That was good. We will be back next week. With more Star Trek adventures. I think next week, we maybe have a little bit of debate on the Discord about this. We could do a flashback episode.
Oh.
We could do a TOS era episode. If we like. And we have a chat. Because we could do a TOS.
Sure.
We could do a TOS episode, or we could do a TOS Klingon episode.
Oh.
If we want. So we will come and join us on the Discord, and we will debate this. We'll check in with the other cast members because not everybody's in tonight. They might not be up for being Klingons.
Oh.
I think they will.
I think they will.
I think they will. But before I drop it on,
Gutted.
put it on my
Klingons.
put it on my players, I
What do we
might
do?
give them an
What's my
opportunity to-
motivation.
glory, honor. But we could do a we could do a TOS Klingon episode, which would tie in nicely with what we've just discovered. And what are we doing tomorrow on Garblag?
Tomorrow,
no,
Garblag
later on
is-
tonight.
later on
later
tonight.
on tonight. Yes,
Oh.
Delta Green.
Delta Green.
Yeah, Visid, episode 2.
Oh, it's gruesome, Visid.
Beware.
I've read what they're playing, and I love it. I love Delta Green. I'm very, very jealous Jeff is running this game, and it's too late in the night for me to play.
But there is a content warning on the front end of that episode of that show, so beware. There's mind warping stuff going on.
It is. So Delta Green later on, and then tomorrow we've
Then
got
tomorrow is Ren Space Traveller.
Who stole the spaceship? Who stole the shuttle?
Stephen stole the shuttle.
Stephen's not friendly.
Fighter. Stephen. Oh, Stephen.
Oh, it's bad, Stephen.
It's bad, Stephen. Stephen was bad and ripped the back end of their ship off, and now they're not happy.
No.
Understandable.
Understandable, yeah. And then we have something at the weekend, which is an unusual event for Garblack, isn't it?
We do. We have a One Ring show. Yes. Just come out. And Lewis will be taking 4 intrepid, bold adventurers on a. I'm just trying to get the name of the show up again. On a one-shot adventure.
On a one ring, one shot.
One ring, one shot.
Oh, that's so exciting. I'm jealous that they got to run it first. That's awesome. Mad scramble to get one ring first, but no.
Yeah.
I haven't read the rules enough.
It's we've got a dwarf, a hobbit, a man of Bree,
Yeah.
and another player's joined, and we think they're just figuring out whether they're going to be a dwarf or a barding.
Nice.
So
nice little
just,
fellowship.
Yeah, a nice little fellowship.
Excellent. And that's on Saturday. And then on Tuesday, we're going to go back to a Grimhulk. Is that right?
We are, yes, Grimhulk, episode 3. The team have just dealt with the Fisher Clan challenge, fixing the sky blades in the holy cylinders, and they've had to fight some interlopers who are the aliens that are tearing through the fabric of space to
I killed
kill
this space wasp
everybody.
with my brain.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
And it's not on Garblag, but Matt, who is a Garblag on Tuesday nights in American time zone, is running some Call of Cthulhu over on the Sirenscape channel as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
We should go
Yeah,
and-
the mound.
The Mound. Very,
Wow.
very
That's not the
spooky.
name of the channel. That's the name of the adventure.
No, the channel is Sirenscape. It's got a Garblag on it, and they're playing the Mound, Call of Cthulhu. And then on Wednesday, it's back to WFRP.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
yeah. With Jim and the crew
Rat Pato.
getting into serious problems in Middenheim.
And then that brings us back. I haven't worked out which. We need to work out which we're going to be, Klingon or Federation.
Kablam!
I think we're going to be Klingon, so I'll get
I think we
there.
might be Klingons.
Yeah, right.
We might have to make a different intro. And next week we'll play some TOS Klingons. And that's a whole week of Garblag games. If you've missed anything of that we've just said then, come and see us on Discord and we'll share it all with you. If you're watching on the YouTube, please give us a nice thumbs up. But as Pete always tells me, nobody on the YouTube gets to this far in the end of the show. And with that, I will say good night. Good night, everybody. Thank you
Good
for
night.
playing Star Trek with me. Bye-bye.